What is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Purple and Gold Bar Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, aka Mr. AI Man 3000, aka Mr. Purple and Gold Bars at your service. Quick reminder, guys, we are in the month of December, so we are in the midst of a t-shirt giveaway. So anybody that is subscribed, leaves a comment on any one of my live streams, videos, shorts, anything like that, you'll be entered into a draw for a free t-shirt. We're going to do a live draw at the first week of January. So don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And before we get into this power rankings, because we got to do a live recalculations, you know how we do it over here. We like to make sure that that we kind of talk it out and kind of give you guys the nitty gritty of why I move the teams around the way that I do, giving you guys the most accurate power rankings on YouTube here. Let's start that intro. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. So we got our power rankings up on the screen there. This is where we ended up last week. I think it was pretty accurate, but we've got some changes that need to be made here. I think we can let's anybody that needs to fall out of here other than the Chiefs, and put them right here in the middle. Let's put the Buccaneers here. It's an interesting top 12 here. Any like drastic recalculations? Let's see here. Maybe let's put the Chargers at the very top here. These guys are average at best. There we go. We'll go there. Now, to these top teams, I think we can safely, honestly say now that we can put the Patriots at the #1 team in the league right now. They've been playing some great football. Drake May in his second year is looking fantastic. Mike Vrabel looking like coach of the year. There's a lot of good things going on in New England, but I think the only maybe negative shot that you could give to the Patriots is that their defense can be kind of leaky at times, not like all time, but all you really need when you got a potent offense like that is having a defense that's like slightly above middle of the pack, maybe even close to top 10, because with that support to that offense, you're going to stay in games and you're going to go ahead and be able to pull away from teams. So they're going to go up. LA Rams fall to #2 here. We're going to keep the Seahawks at 3. And now we got a little bit of a recalculation here, guys. This is the reason why we have the Colts at 5, because now we really know. We need to move a team at 5 here, the Chicago Bears, because we don't exactly know how good they are. They're on a last place schedule, so their record's a little bit inflated. Whenever they play against good defenses, good teams, Caleb Williams does struggle. So the jury is still to be determined when it comes to the Chicago Bears. But so that's why that #5 spot has been reserved to the teams that have definitely not looked great. And I think the Broncos have definitely earned being in the top 5 here. Let's bring that down. Let's bring those down. Let's bring the Bills here just on the other side. 49ers, Green Bay. Actually, we'll probably put Green Bay there. No, actually, we'll put them just after. And then we got these guys at the very end, bottom of the barrel here, looking out versus in, because hey, Colts have been exposed over the last few weeks. Daniel Jones, as good of a story as it is, this is exactly what anybody that had a reasonable opinion or a little bit of foresight was able to predict. And I know a lot of people were predicting that, especially pundits and stuff like that. It's like, hey, let's pump the brakes. They're on the last place schedule. They're looking good right now, but let's see what happens against good teams. The Jaguars went ahead and took that first win from them, and people didn't really raise an eyebrow just yet. But when the Steelers put a beating on them and made it so that Daniel Jones had to put the cape on. He was just not capable of doing it. We'll spare them the embarrassment of dropping completely out of the top 12. They may be able to save the narrative and save the season here if they can come away with a win against the Jags, which I think are definitely rolling here. The two teams that are just outside the top 12, the Chargers and the Jags, are definitely the two right here. They're accurately placed here, followed by Carolina. I guess you could probably put these three. They're basically the same team, and everything else kind of rocks. From here on down, they're basically the same team. Let's be real. Let's give the Cowboys a little bit of love because they are on a two-game win streak here. But in the words of Stephen A, just wait, don't worry. The Cowboys will show you who they are. They always find ways to win. So we're going to keep them right there because we know that they're most likely going to fall apart. They are the second longest ongoing dumpster fire in the league next to the Browns. So it's going to be fun to see this weekend tonight, actually, how they are able to handle the Detroit Lions who are also reeling here. Let's see here. Basically, everybody here can hang out in the same spot there. You can really make an argument to just moving up or down or whatever, but they're basically the same team. Let's go. Maybe we can do this. Let's do this. Actually, let's make one more move. Let's put the Bengals in the mid-tier. But anyway, so let's look at the top 12 because that's what really matters when it comes to the power rankings here. Patriots, Rams, Seahawks, Broncos. I think these four teams, you could honestly, anybody can give me a compelling argument, and I would be pretty okay with seeing any one of these guys in the number one spot. Pretty much interchangeable here. The Chicago Bears are a little bit of a conundrum for me because if things don't go the way that they expect them to, they could easily fall on the lower side. But if they overachieve and they kind of are able to fix some of these problems when they do face good defenses, they might be able to put together a nice couple games here to finish the season and really assert their dominance here in the NFC. The Bills are who we think they are. They're a very, very good offense. They have a good team. Their defense is definitely their weakness, but you can't have a perfect team when it comes to everything. They're just more consistent than most, followed by a similar situation with the Green Bay Packers. A very good team in many areas of football, but they are still a little bit flawed. And hopefully, now that they've kind of got back on track, they might be able to kind of regain some of that hype that a lot of people had from them going into the season. San Francisco 49ers, an incredible team that's built to face adversity. Doesn't matter what's going on. Over the last few years, they've literally seen the gambit of adversity. And as a result, they're able to face it without fear, and it doesn't really rattle them. And they just know that it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter which quarterback's out there. It doesn't matter who gets injured. They're going to be ready. They're going to have game plans. People are going to step up. And that's just what they are. They're forged in fire right now. And, if the injuries weren't so crazy, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, all these guys, right? Really, really good players missing significant time or out for the rest of the season. I would probably bank on them or have them be my dark horse for the Super Bowl because they are just that capable of facing adversity and making a good solid playoff run. Then we got the pretenders here. We got the Lions, Colts, and Eagles. I said going into the season, one of my bold predictions was that I'd be surprised, or the Lions would be lucky to win 10 games this season, and that's exactly what they're on pace for, is winning 10 games here if everything falls their way. The Colts, their record, the reason why these guys are above Tampa Bay is because Tampa Bay did have that little weird stretch here in the middle of football where they were a little bit injured. They couldn't face adversity and overcome, even though all the heroics that Baker Mayfield and company were trying to put together, they just couldn't do it. But they seem to have gotten back on the right step. Now we'll see the way the rest of the season goes to see if they're back fully on track. And I anticipate that Baker Mayfield and these Bucks will actually climb up here, maybe into the lower part of the top 10. But as of right now, we got the Bucks and the Eagles on the outside looking in, because if I look at the Eagles compared to the Colts as well as the Lions, I'm going to pick the Lions and the Eagles over, and the Colts over the Eagles, just because I feel they're just more consistent, even though all three of them are equally flawed and all, let's just call them pretenders, because that's what we're looking at right now. I don't think the Eagles are the 2023 Eagles, where they're gonna like lose out the rest of the season and fall out of the playoffs and be a laughing stock this season. But I don't think they're gonna be as good as they were last year, where they were dominant and they were on their way to a Super Bowl. I think they're somewhere in between. I think they're a good team, just very flawed, and they're just gonna have to need a lot of things go their way in order to make a Super Bowl run, to even make it or potentially win it. So all the things have to be perfect. I think just the same can be said for the Colts and the Lions. Everybody else up above them have a little bit more upside, in my opinion, compared to them. And if the Buccaneers put together a good finish of the season, I think they will easily leapfrog these three teams. But I'm curious to see what happens in Thursday Night Football here tonight. Lions versus Cowboys. We got two teams that are a little bit reeling. The Cowboys were reeling for a little bit more. Now they're on a bit of a renaissance after 2 games, but they are still just a one-sided team. All they have is offense. That defense, as much as anybody wants to give credit for, oh, we got the Quinton Williams and all that, Ben or Logan or whatever, the linebacker, the guy that got benched on the Bengals, their defense just went from like one of the worst, let's say 32nd to like 22nd, or 30th to like 20th. So really nothing to be impressed with. And we've seen teams still put a lot of points up on them. So it's going to be a bit of a shootout. I think it's going to be a really fun game today. I'm gonna lock in on Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery being the difference makers here, and Jameson Williams making a big stand against these Dallas Cowboys. Even though I think it's going to be a high scoring game, I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think either one of those defenses are showing up. But yeah, let me take a quick moment here to look at the top 12 and see if there's any team that I would honestly move ahead on second thought. No, I honestly think the top 4 for the first time this season are interchangeable. The Chicago Bears hold my what really are they kind of position at number 5, where I'm hesitant to put them any higher, because if they end up falling apart, and then I got to bring them all the way from first down to 7th and then down to 12th, and I'd rather just keep them here and just wait. So to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, because they do struggle against good defenses. The Bills are who they are. They're a really good team, but they are flawed. Same with the Packers, same with the 49ers. So those teams are interchangeable. And then the frauds, plus a guy in Baker Mayfield that has definitely stood out a little bit more to me than the Chargers and the Jaguars organizations have. So that's why they are going to take my 12th spot, even though you could probably say that 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15 are interchangeable as well. So, pretty cool way for the power rankings to get. And I like how we're now at the end of the season where everything is a little bit more clear. The top 15 teams are basically holding on to their positions, and we're going to see how everything plays out the rest of the way. I hope you guys enjoyed the live today. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment on any one of our lives, shorts, or actual uploads this month, and you're going to be entered into a draw for a free t-shirt giveaway. We're going to be giving up away at least 10, depending on my print shop here, and how much we can get made. But we will hold the draw at the end of this, at the end of the year. Actually, no, the start of the year, first week of January. You can earn up to 10 ballots based on leaving up 10 comments on videos. We will go ahead and I'm going to do it old school. I'm going to buy one of those bingo wall roller ball things, fill it up with paper, or maybe I'll just use a hat. I have no idea, but we're going to do it a little bit old school. I'm going to write it all down, and we're going to see who gets these free t-shirts. We have a t-shirt original already made up. I showed it on yesterday's stream, and then we're going to have a secret design that's going to be showcased on the actual draw live, which we're going to have at the beginning of the year. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. And hey, have yourself a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope things are going great in your life. I hope you guys are being blessed. And regardless of all the banter and everything, I love every single one of you guys. And I will see you guys on the next live.